here at the legendary Sardi's to catch up with 3 of the show's stars, Tony Award winner Jessie Mueller, Drew Gehling, and Jenna Ushkowitz. Enjoy.
Keep racing, let's make mistakes when I say so. Can make worse what is already pretty bad. This secret is safe, no reason to throw it away. When there's love to be had.
The Waitress family, I'm like catching up with all of you. You're the new kid on the block.
I am the new kid on the block.
How does it feel?
Feels great. No, these guys are awesome. They made it a really nice transition. I'm having the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say she's the best. She's
You
the
guys
best.
are the best. You stop.
Oh.
Okay, since you're the newest member, what do you remember about your first performance on stage as Dawn? That first night.
Ooh. I mean, the finale was really like, when they came out with those flowers at my bow, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was confused and excited all at the same time. It was pretty magical just to be back on the Broadway stage and with a cool crew, you know, at the diner. And yeah, I think I kind of blacked out though for most of it.
Yeah, do you remember any of it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did you have family that came and stuff?
Yeah.
No, nobody was allowed to come.
Oh.
I did not allow anybody to come. My best friend came, but that was it. I don't tell mom and dad. But yeah, I mean, like, it really was truly just a big blackout, big blur, and you know, now we're getting into a really fun group, so it feels much better. Yeah. And we can play around a little bit. And
Yeah. You know, it's no secret. I love this show. I fell in love with it first at ART. And then when you moved to Broadway, why do you think audiences connect to this show and fall in love with it so?
It's so empowering for everyone, because it's like about just self-actualization and finding and being your best self, and I think that's something everybody can identify with.
yeah, I think it has a lot. The show has a lot of heart, and I think that people really connect to that and walk away feeling inspired and again empowered. You know.
And I think it's also a safe space to look at some of the dark stuff in life.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, that would never be the tagline you would use.
A safe space to look at the dark
Waitress,
stuff.
come
Look at the dark stuff.
side. Welcome to the dark side.
Dig deep.
Yeah, dig deep.
But it is. It's like I think the pieces, you know, from what Adrian started with the film, and then what we've like crafted with Jessie and Diane and Lauren and everybody. Like, there's a little bit of everything in there. Laugh out loud, funny moments, but there are some really, really dark moments. And I think you get wrapped up in the characters, and then you get invested in them, and hopefully through being invested in the characters that are going through something really, really human and really, really universal. It's like very healing for people, I think.
Yeah. Everybody can relate to someone in this show.
That's what I think.
Because a lot of the characters, they don't make the right choices like people do in real life.
Or try desperately.
Yeah, or try desperately.
I think people actually relate, because most people actually don't make a whole lot of great choices in life. Like, we try really, really hard.
Yeah.
But and I think honestly the way we connect to each other is when we're not doing our best, and we have the bravery and the hope to reach out to one another and be like, hey, I'm not doing so good. Can you help me? Or you just say that and someone goes, I'll help you. And I think the show showcases that as well. People either reaching out for help or just being at such a point where other people come to their aid without them even knowing or expecting it.
You have the finest all-female creative team of this show, right?
Yeah. I was amazed that it was the first time, I guess, that it ever happened on Broadway. And then sort of after the fact, I feel like we've gotten asked a lot about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's an awesome thing, but it was also very surprising to me because I don't think it was set out with that goal necessarily in mind, but the right people came along for the job and were hired for the job. And so if this is the stepping point, so that hopefully the next time it happens, it won't be like, oh my God, they're all female. You know, it'll be like, we're doing another show. Cool.
Yeah. I was talking to Eric Harrison about this the other day, and he said something so interesting, and they were like, how has this been different? You know, has this been different from other projects? And he was like, it was no different. Yeah. And I think there was something so cool to just think that, like, we all kind of had to be reminded that that was the case, and something that was new and exciting. It's a testament to the team and a testament to the whole company, I think.
Yeah, I mean, working with all the women, it's just, it is a female-driven story. It is, you know, Jenna's story affected by all these humans around her and all these crazy characters. So I think it was great. It's great to have a woman's viewpoint in, you know, coming together and collaborating that way. But because
gender does play a part in the story and the main character's experience, but it's not it's not a gender-specific story to me at
Yeah.
all.
No.
Even though it has
No.
to do with like birth and things like that, but
No.
it's not actually.
Yeah. At the helm, of course, is your genius director, Diane Paulus. What makes her such a great director, and what it was like working with her?
To me, I feel like the thing I learned from her was she is so about let's find the best idea. And I don't think she has a lot of ego about where that idea comes from, or if she doesn't feel like she has it, she's open to hearing ideas and being collaborative and the idea of exploration. Like I'm very different. I'm such a perfectionist. Like I want to know what you want from me. I want to know what the answer is, and I want to do it and execute it. And I feel like she stretched me a lot. Like I was forced to exercise muscles with her as a director that I haven't necessarily with somebody before.
Yeah, that was really unique, and that's the only time that I've ever had that kind of experience with a director where it was so everything essentially just came out of like a hive mind, which in a lot of ways led us to some pretty solid storytelling.
Jenna, for you, how much time did you get to spend with her?
An hour.
Right?
I'm the new kid on the block, so I learned with the stage manager, I learned with the understudies, I worked with these guys a couple days before my run, but with Diane, we had a Skype session with Jessie Nelson and Diane, and they gave me the vision of what I was walking into, which is so important to me to walk in with the tone correct, or at least with an idea of what I was walking into. So with Dawn, with the story, with Jenna, with how Dawn is affected by all these characters, how she affects all the characters. That was really the most important to me to get from Diane, which was like a 20-minute, just her sort of babbling off conversation. And that was like really, really just crucial for my entrance into the show. And then the hour that I had was, her saying, this is, I'm stepping into something that's been created already. So she said, your Dawn is not what Kamiko created, this is Jenna's Dawn, so let's find that. Let's sort of tweak it so that it works in your body and we're not placing you on top of somebody, which I really appreciate as well.
But she creates this incredible ensemble amongst companies and characters. There's like this kinetic energy when you look at a Diane Paulus show.
We started off and this is going way back, in Cambridge last summer. The first day of rehearsal, we did a read-through of the show, and then she sat down with all of us and said, all right, everybody needs to bring in a 9-minute character presentation.
Oh my God, I forgot.
It's terrifying.
I blocked
It was terrifying.
Sorry,
It was maybe the worst thing that ever happened to me. But it was like, but in a weird way, it has this effect, and I think that this is a testament to the way the ensemble mindset that you're talking about. I think it puts everybody in the same show, in a way that just kind of you see what everybody else's language is, and how your language fits with that. And with those of us characters that had a lot of text in the play already, that it was less of an exercise for us and it was more of an exercise for the ensemble themselves to kind of find who those people were in the diner as well. So suddenly we were this one cohesive unit. And I think that kind of holds over and created a real kind of family environment for all of us. Because we were so terrified that
I think
like
taking
found
us
together.
bowling would have done the same
Bowling
thing.
would have been the same.
Basically a group activity, but
Totally.
But yeah, we did a 9-minute.
we did
I'm
it.
glad it was.
They were fascinating to watch. I will
She
tell
didn't
you.
make me do that.
They were fascinating to watch.
Because I remember some of the people who worked with her, like in Pippin, the ensemble had these incredible stories.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, they sound like leads.
I think that's an exercise that she does. I think she she loves that.
Did you have to do that on Skype with her?
No.
Oh my God, we should make you do one.
No.
It's before the show tonight. You have 2 hours to prepare.
I think I'm great.
Dakin's never done his either.
Dakin wasn't there. Dakin was absent that day, and we
Let the record
tried
show.
to not let him live that down. He's like, you still owe us a character presentation, mister.
So Dakin was absent on purpose then.
No, he was like, well,
You know.
I think
was
he was like
filming,
she was
right?
filming
She
the
was
Gilmore.
right.
he was in some movie.
Dakin.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Thank
So there should be one night where you two have to do them.
It's okay.
At a waitress party, right?
Maybe like in between shows.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah,
right?
you go through it,
Yeah.
All right, you're on stage for practically the entire show. What are you off stage for, like 2 minutes? What is it?
We should calculate it
Count
it.
sometime. I don't
can
know.
count it
I was really pleased. The one we might have been in previews and production, and I realized I have enough time to go to the bathroom during this time off stage. And there was a bathroom nearby, and that was a great day. When I realized, like safely, I have enough time to pee.
I feel like
and know that I'm
does.
I'm not
The
so
wedding.
close to my cue that it's dangerous.
Is it the wedding?
No, it's in Act 1 during Don't Tell Chris Fitzgerald. I'm
I
not
won't.
just watching him backstage during a song. It's never getting rid of me. I have enough time. And literally my character says, I have to
go
pee.
pee.
You say, can you help me? Can you come with me? I said, I would, but I have to pee.
And you go pee.
And I think I'm such a good actress that it just now I really have to pee. I literally have to pee every day now.
So everybody clears that way, right, when you're off, right?
Very method.
Okay, so she pees when she's off. What do you two
what do you
do
guys do?
when you're not on stage?
Drew leaves videos because my dressing room is the closest to the stage, and my actual station is closest to the stage. So I get videos from all the different
On your phone?
people in the cast with videos of like when I'm singing "When He Sees Me," they're lip syncing to it. It's very interesting.
I give you a show.
I
Do you
got a
not
full
put
show
your
from
lock
you
on
the
your
other night.
phone?
You can
You
swipe
can
up.
get to the camera without
Which
unlocking
is
true.
into
the
my
phone.
phone.
You don't see any of the
Uh-oh.
pictures.
See?
So
I see a
get
really
the
fun
videos.
Tuesday
Trouble.
night tonight, right?
Yeah,
Why is no one doing that in my room?
because you're upstairs.
It's so scary to
And
walk
Dell
up.
guards your room.
Yeah,
like a
Dell
hawk.
would be like,
Don't you
No
worry.
entry.
I actually don't have an incredible amount of time, much more
No, you
longer
don't.
than Jessie, but
You don't though.
We don't. We, like Cal and I are either crossing underneath or,
Yeah.
changing or, she used to be mine, which I sit and listen to every night, but that's about it. Yeah.
So
Because
when
it's
you-
like if
yeah.
we're not in the diner, we're in the gyno office
Right.
or Earl and Jenna's house.
And
It's
I'm
like
switching
Yeah.
and we're changing.
every time you're in the diner.
Yeah, in the hospital at the
Yeah,
end.
stage, right.
So,
Oh, right, in the hospital.
All right, so you share a dressing room
yeah.
with
Kiala.
Kiala. Okay. When do you play Cookie Jam?
We sit in silence and we play Cookie Jam. And I'm like, how you doing over there? And she's like, oh, I hate this game.
So you cookie jam together, but you.
We're cookie jamming at the
separate.
same time, but separately. And I know when she goes quiet, that's
like
when
any
she's
good
playing cookie
relationship,
jam.
though.
It also keeps our voices silent for
They're
the
comfortable
time.
in silence. I got some time,
What do
but
you
I'm
do?
over there with Chris Fitzgerald and
Well, you're making
And
mayhem
Nick.
over there.
Oh, the men.
that floor. The floor is me and Nick and Chris, and it's trouble.
Sounds like drum.
It's trouble.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's
Drum
really
in
fun.
River City.
Okay, so what's intermission like? Because I mean, you rev yourselves up for that second act. So what's intermission like? What do you do?
I brush my teeth.
I do too for you usually. Thanks, friend.
Oh, good. I'm glad we discussed.
I drink the green juice. That's about it.
You drink the green juice?
Yeah.
I sometimes have a Triscuit.
Nice.
Okay, we have to talk about the props. This is such a prop heavy
gosh.
show.
Like
Yeah.
I always have a nightmare of like if I don't put this in the wrong spot, I've ruined someone else's scene because that ketchup bottle that I
Yeah.
probably knocked into is
Oh my God.
like someone's entire spine of their character or
Yeah.
something. It almost works that way. Like our prop people are so amazing, and the whole cast and ensemble and the swings are incredible because it got down to the point where it was like you'd sort of power with your swings. You'd be like, "Love you so much. Can you turn this coffee pot this
Just
13 degrees to the right
'cause
for
it
me?"
feels
And they'd be like, "Absolutely." It's like
Yeah.
stuff like that because it happens so quickly, and it has to be so on the mark.
They're
Really.
like, how would you like your coffee pot held? Some people like it from behind.
Hi,
and
some
some from the
people-
side.
hey,
I'm
and
like,
some
you
people
hold
do.
it from the bottom, I'll take it from the top. Thank you. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy. That's
Okay.
just how the show was built.
So the craziest thing that has happened to each of you on stage with a prop.
It's like don't even want to.
My little,
them out there.
prescription pad, that thing has
Has
a
a what? Oh, has a
mind
mind
of its own. Sometimes it's in the audience.
Yeah.
One time it literally disappeared into the stage and was just gone.
You couldn't see it.
No, it just was gone.
Oh, went into the track.
It went straight into the track.
Oh.
And
One day I think you.
what do you
you
mean?
nudged it into the
I don't
audience
know
a
what
little
you
bit.
mean.
What about?
Sometimes I'm a ham.
I dropped dough one night.
Oh, did you?
Like in a song where it's supposed to be making a pie, and I was like, well, there's no more dough. I have to pick this up and keep going.
Jessie also tends to have flour on her face. I'll be like, come here. come
Lately,
here
I
in the
can't.
middle
Yeah,
of the
I can't get the flour.
We
in
almost
check.
always have a moment before Bad Idea where we like make eye contact and then we both
Yes.
notice that there's sugar
We have to
on the
look and see
stage.
how much stuff is on the stage: sugar, flour, water.
Right.
Just so we know what we
Because
have to
it's-
hop over during Bad Idea.
She's treacherous. She's treacherous.
The other day, there was like a big heap of sugar that we totally, all three of us missed. And then later in the scene, they're like, how are we gonna get it off the floor? So teamwork. Literally, Kayala's over there wiping it on her hands and knees. She's never there. This one goes over, she pulls out
found
this
the dustpan.
I was like, where did this come
Come
from?
from, because she's new too. Because we had days where we're like, I go to stage manager, we're like, great, we need a dustpan stage right, stage left. Can we find a good place for them
What
to
is
be?
she
Because if anything
doing?
happens, we have to get this stuff out.
You have 15 seconds to do it.
It's
And
so funny,
really,
yeah.
you'd think that like we could have built that in. It's like we're in a diner. There could be a broom on stage, but we didn't think of it.
So she's like, Dawn over there. I'm like, what's happening? Teamwork. We did
Just
it.
recently, we missed like a prop was not set or something, and poor Dakin Matthews has this whole wonderful, beautiful speech about this pie that he'd like me to serve him, and just how it's magical. It's a thing of beauty. And I'm looking at him while he's giving me the speech. I'm like, you have no cup and you have no fork to eat this pie, and it's supposed to be there. So in my mind, I'm trying to look like I'm paying attention to him, and I'm like, where's the fork? Where's the fork? I think there's some over by the counter. And then I'm like, when can I get it? Because then you have a scene, and I'm supposed to be paying attention to you, and I felt so bad. I was like,
it's all right.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I have
I was
to
like, where's
go
she going?
across the stage, get a fork, and cross all the way back.
Yeah.
Try to say my line, cross all the way back to Dakin.
The spot person's going, what?
What is happening?
Where's she going? Yeah.
One day, and then we'll move on. One day we did in Cambridge, we had a pregnancy test box, but no pregnancy test in the box. So Kayala was playing Becky at the time. My character has to take a pregnancy test because she's worried she's pregnant, and her friends are encouraging her to do. She's like, you gotta take the test. So Kayala looks at me. There's a whole song about it, and it's all supposed to happen in like count of 3, hand off stick, go into the bathroom. And she's looking at me like, on the negative, and she's like, good, you're in the bathroom. She's like, you're in the bathroom. And I'm thinking like, oh, they've said it in the bathroom. There's been a change. I go in the bathroom. There's no pregnancy test in the bathroom stall. So I think I came out like this.
You pretended.
I'm like, I got this. I am acting this stick. Or I'm acting this. And then I thought I'd act a little harder, and I'd grab a paper towel and then put the paper towel around it to really make it look like it was something.
You know, 8 shows a week can be grueling. I mean, you have to work out like an athlete to do that. What was the go-to food or drink that you gave up when you took on this role? And what do you reward yourself with at the end of the week?
I like to eat a bowl of pasta on Sunday night.
Really?
I love it.
Like before the show?
No, after the show.
Okay.
I mean, I had to give up a lot of my drinking habits. If I can be frank about it, you know, you really can't like do it and do this show, and that's important to me. You know, it's a different sort of routine that you give yourself as an adult. And not being 21 on Broadway anymore.
I had to give up sweets outside work. Because
There's
seriously,
so many
There are a
sweets
lot of
at
sweets.
work.
seriously, there's so many sweets at work,
Yeah.
and in the show itself.
Yeah.
Like I eat a lot.
That's
What
true.
is that,
You
whipped
get to eat a muffin
I
every
ate a
night
muffin
and
every
Cool
night.
And the
Whip.
whipped cream.
Muffin and
Is it Cool Whip now?
Whip.
It's cake frosting and Cool Whip.
Do you spit it out? Or do you eat it?
That's what it is.
Just wondering.
But still, that's part
It's
of
all
why
the
I
things
gotta
I
brush
don't
the
know about
teeth.
the
I gotta
show.
brush the teeth. Brush the
Yeah, I was gonna
teeth.
say your dentist is probably like,
My
what
dentist,
are you eating?
he's a fan. He was like, I gotta brush those teeth.
So on Sunday night or Monday, what do you reward yourself with?
Ooh, on Sunday night, I love to go out to dinner.
Great.
It's like a thing. It's the one night that I can feel like I can be out on the town
Sure.
in the evening and feel like a
Not worried
young
about the
professional
next
in the
day.
city.
Yeah, like a real person.
Yeah.
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 And Jessie, for you, what did you give up?
Uh,
And what do you reward yourself with?
I am not as disciplined as I probably should be. Just put that out there. But I try not to judge myself. And I kind of gave up. It feels like this gets so specific. I gave up dairy like a while ago because I mean, honestly, also with this role, like I can't tell whether it's going up or down sometimes as far as leakage and like dripping.
Whether it's going up or down.
Totally.
So there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
I just have to be careful about like how late I eat
Sure.
and not eating acidic foods, and just as there's not like gunk all over my cords because I put enough gunk on my cords throughout the course of the show. So it's kind of a, for me, honestly, the weirdest thing to try and gauge is actually how to deal with the powders and things that are being thrown into the air. So I've tried all kinds of stuff, throat sprays. I
didn't think about that.
put for a while, especially I was putting stuff up my This sounds bad. It was real. So it was a nasal emollient. It was given to me by an EMT.
I
y'all.
love that stuff.
Wait,
It's what not astronauts use, I guess.
Oh.
Thick oil.
Because
It's wonderful.
during some of the during one number, like I'd come off stage and be like, oh my gosh, why is everything clogged? And it was like, because you just inhaled a teaspoon of flour.
Nutmeg, yeah.
Or nutmeg, or
Yeah.
cinnamon, or whatever it is.
Sometimes it
That's
falls.
been the
I
biggest
cough
thing
it-
for me, is trying
yeah.
to figure out that.
Because I cough at everything, so I'm like, I watch you toss that stuff in the air,
Too
and you
of a
sing
cougher.
so beautifully, and I'm like,
You're trying not to
How do
I
you
should play
not-
someone with consumption, like I'd be a shoo-in. For real.
And what do you give yourself Sunday night or Monday? Like, I have to have that. Like, I can have,
Oh,
like, you know.
sometimes like pizza. I feel like I always want something. I always want something kind of like naughty. Not naughty, but
Naughty
you know, I
Monday.
just want to
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I want to not care about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I just want to eat something. I worked really hard for 2.5 hours. Yeah.
So finally, if you could sum up the best part of the experience of being a part of Waitress, what is it for each of you?
Just being able to tell this story, share this story, aid Jenna's story, you know, like be this character for a little while and then be in the diner with these cool folk. You know, it's been a really cool experience, you know, getting to know this new family. So, yeah.
There's been something that's been so rewarding about getting to work specifically with this group of people that isn't always the case on every show that you do. And I feel like this has been such a treat and such an honor to get to tell this story pretty much with you, because it's like I pretty much only really work with you and Nurse Norma. And figuring out how that story gets told is just such a treat. And I feel so lucky that like I get to be a part of this piece that Adrian wrote and then Jessie then picked up and tweaked, and it's just been such a treat.
I think it's something about, or when I sort of feel the sort of overarching thing that you're talking about, I guess, it's sort of encapsulated. Every once in a while, in the bows, as we're singing the sort of reprise of the song opening up again, it all just sort of floods over me. And it's just, it sounds cheesy, but it's so real. It's like this palpable feeling of love and hope and healing that's like radiating off the audience and radiating off of us. And I just feel like we're part of something much bigger than like being in a Broadway show or being on stage. Like it transcends that. And I'm very grateful to be a part of that. And meeting Sarah.
Yeah.
Meeting Sarah and getting to work with her and getting to know her a little bit as a human being and watching her as a human being, watching her as an artist. I feel like I learned a lot and yeah, to get to experience that. It's really special.
You are all so wonderful at what you do. Thanks for sitting with me this afternoon.
Sorry.
Thanks for having us. This was so fun.
Tired as I tell my